Hey, so Kyle's power went out midway through this recording, so we're using Skype audio for like the first half of this episode. It sounds kind of bad and we apologize, but it gets better halfway through, so make it halfway through and you'll get a little fun present in good audio. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talks a Lot Boys. I'm your host. My name is Tyler, and of course, I am joined by the boys. We've got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
Hello, everybody.
Oh boy, guys, it's finally here. Jackpot Juicer. It's here. It exists. It's real. And boy, gosh darn it, was that just the best birthday present I've ever gotten in my entire life. Also, shout outs to everyone who dropped me little happy birthday messages in the last reaction video. That was very nice of you. I really appreciated that. But yes, Jackpot Juicer is out, and it is, I have to say, I'm going to say blanket statement. You might not agree. I think it's the best Gavin Dance album of all time. By like a mile. Like, I think that this is like music has been redefined. Like, this is an insurmountable hill. I don't think that any band ever or DGD will ever surpass this ever again. This is like the peak of music, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm the only one here who thinks that. I think this is God in music form. I really do. Jackpot Juicer touched me. I don't know. What did you guys think about the album as a whole? Kyle, we'll start with you, I guess.
My initial feeling about it. I want to give it a lot more listens before I make any godlike statements. But my initial reaction is objectively it is most likely the best Gavin Dance song that they've ever made, or not a song, album that they've ever made. Just it's one big song, hour long. No, I think it's probably objectively the best Gavin Dance album ever. I'd have to like go back and listen to other things, kind of compare some things back and forth, because subjectively maybe close, but you look at how long this album is, 18 fucking songs, and there are no skips. No fucking skips, baby. That's incredible.
That should be statistically impossible, and yet they've done it. It's crazy.
And like even the fucking intro bit is so tasty that I'm never gonna skip it because it's only 30 seconds. And I'm gonna let it rip and have a great time. Like there's honestly, no skips.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I, in my own opinion, though, like objectiveness aside, I fucking love this album. I think it goes all over the place, gives you so many groovy, good vibes, gives you all like the classic DGD shit that you love. You come to DGD for. Andrew's incorporation on the album is immaculate. That's possibly my own personal knock on it, is that I want more Andrew in the future, because anytime he was in a song for like more than like 2 seconds, I was creaming my jeans, baby. That was so good.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And then I also would love to say, just as a blanket statement, Tim has left us a fucking masterpiece. Every single song where the bass just like shines through is like a fucking masterclass.
There are some
incredible,
hella tight bass lines on this album. Like, Feels Bad Man is just like Tim Furyk Central Station, and I love it so much. But Brennan, what do you think about Jackpot Juicer?
So, I'm not quite as high on it as Tyler, but I think that this is the best album they've come out with for a very long time. This is exactly what the world needed after Afterburner. As many of you know, I'm not super high on that record. But for me, Instant Gratification is their best. Their absolute best work. Mothership always came like right behind that. But this is probably the closest.
Very differently.
Yeah, but like this is probably like the closest challenger to Instant Gratification in my own personal lineup that DGD has come out with. I mean, this to me vastly superior to Mothership, vastly superior to Artificial Selection, Afterburner, Acceptance Speech. Everything else before that, I think, was inferior to pretty much all that. So, man, absolute excellent record. I think this one's going to age like fine wine. Probably if I revisit this years down the road, I'll probably still have the same sentiment I do now. So absolutely excellent, top-notch record from Gavin Dance here. for sure.
And boys, I'm scared to do the actual video because like
Oh shit.
we have to rank all these songs from worst to first. That's what we do here on the show. And we've said before, I feel like we say this on most episodes. We're like, this is going to be the hardest thing we've ever done. This is actually going to be the hardest thing we've ever done because it's 18 bangers, and that's just absurd. But we're gonna have to do it. We're not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna list them all off in the order they appear and try not to hyperventilate in the process, and then we'll see what happens. I guess. This is gonna be tough. First up, we have Untitled 2, followed by Cream of the Crop, followed by Synergy featuring Rob Damiani. Next up is Holy Ghost Spirit, For the Jeers, Ember, Pop Off, One Man's Cringe, Feels Bad Man, Die Another Day, Two Secret Weapons, Polka Dot Dobbins, which is fun, I guess. Long Nights in Jail, Back on Deck, Current Events, Pray to God for Your Mother, Swallowed by Eternity, and Have a Great Life. Obviously, Untitled 2 defaults to the bottom because it's not a real song.
First of all, you forgot Synergy in there, but that's fine.
No,
in
you
your
said
list.
I definitely said it.
It's after Cream of the Crop, though. You said it like later down the line at some point. I think.
no.
What?
Kyle,
Okay.
no, he did not.
You absolutely said
You had
Holy
a stroke.
Ghost. You absolutely had Holy Ghost after.
Jesus, what the fuck?
What?
Play it back.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
but
Let us
whatever.
slide.
I'm
We're
pretty
already
sure-
in for a
Anyways,
long episode here.
Untitled wise, I agree. I'm fine with it. I personally feel as though it like is so connected to Cream of the Crop that in my head they're like together the opener of this album. I understand like why like for this list we should put Untitled at the bottom, but like you have so much of the strings and instrumentals of Untitled 2 like showing up all throughout Cream of the Crop that it kind of just all blends together under one like beautiful beginning to this album to me that I love it. But as far as like tracks and ranking them, yeah, for sure. I agree at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's not a real song. As far as things that we want to put in the bottom half of the list, which in my opinion, there's no skips on this album. I think they're all great. I think there are a couple that I would have to say objectively belong
Oh boy.
in the bottom half of the list solely because of like very nitpicky reasons, because that's all we can do. In my opinion, the 3 tracks in question that should be in the bottom half of the list in some capacity: Holy Ghost Spirit, One Man's Cringe, and Two Secret Weapons. Those are the 3 that I were like, they're good, not great.
I actually agree. The 2 tracks I was thinking of, and the other one I was kind of on the fence about for being towards the bottom, were Holy Ghost Spirit and Two Secret Weapons. The Holy Ghost Spirit, I like it, but compared to the rest of the record, feels extremely safe.
Yeah, agreed.
Not a whole lot goes on in it. Like, yeah, there are some pretty cool parts, like where the instrumentals kind of pick up, and like, John Mess kind of does his thing, but like compared to like Ember, compared to like Polka Dot Dobbins, compared to Back on Deck, and like like all those tracks, like it doesn't do shit, and that's only literally a handful out of the rest of this record. And then Two Secret Weapons. This track actually follows a very similar archetype to We Own the Night, in the fact that it starts off kind of slow, has like these like long winding parts, and then like the last like less than a minute is just like an entirely different song that's like way groovier and like does its own thing. But for me, it takes a really long time to get off the ground. Like it has like the same effect to me as We Own the Night, but like a lot worse. And there's one part that I know you guys are going to bring up that is extremely questionable writing wise that I wasn't a fan of. I don't think you guys are fans of either. But I mean, at least they were trying something different. I guess the only real positive I can take from that.
Yeah, honestly, like the only reason I'm even putting Two Secret Weapons in this conversation is because it's the one song on the album that I actually have a negative note about, because the weird like skip thing where it like cut out a bunch and then like goes into the ending, I really didn't like that. And that's the only part of any song on this entire album that I can say that I didn't like something about a song. And so by default, when every other song is perfect, that automatically shoves it down below. I still think that in general, this song does a lot good. Like, I really like the verses of this one. I really like the flow of them. The chorus isn't amazing compared to a lot of other choruses, like you mentioned, but it's still good. And I still think that, like, the way they kind of do like the background harmonies and stuff, it's a neat touch. But in general, I mean, I have a knock against it, and by default, I think that kind of puts it toward the bottom. And Holy Ghost Spirit, I just think it's objectively kind of the most forgettable song on the album. Because it is, like Brennan said, it's kind of the most safe. It doesn't do it what it does well. But I think that there are other tracks on the album that do similar things better. But I don't know, Kyle, what do you think about those two tracks specifically?
As far as Two Secret Weapons goes, I actually really like. I really, really dig a lot of that song. I think like the guitar riff, like right off the bat, is like one of the more unique ones on the album to me. It really like kind of catches you in a different way right away that I really like. And I just like that the whole song, like I don't know why, but the word samba comes in my head. It's got like this weird like dance going on the whole time. Very, very different vibe. And I love that a lot. I'm curious though, because you mentioned like the glitchy skippy part is the
Yeah.
thing that kills you. Is there anything in the choruses in particular that caught you off at all as well, or just that skippy bit?
I mean, that was just the big knock against it. Like
Because
the chorus to me, it was like I didn't have any problems with it. I just thought that it was not as good as other choruses on the album.
interesting. So my knock for this song doesn't even necessarily come in the glitchy bit as much as there like throughout most of that track there's like distortion-y bits where like there's like some effect put on the Tillion's voice at the end of phrases. There's obviously the glitchy bit like right there when it like it does a big switch up near the end. But in every chorus, and I don't know if I'm just insane, but like there's this weird like single like robotic tone that comes in underneath everything that I can't unhear. I heard it like the second time I listened to it, and now that's all I hear every time I listen to the chorus, and it's really throwing me off. And it sounds like it's like a similar tone to the tone that catches and gets like stuck in the glitch part. And I'm curious as to if that was like a purposeful thing. Because even if it is, I don't like how present it is in the chorus, and it bothers me. However, everything else about that song fucking rips to me. Like I said, the dancey bit of it, the guitar is pretty unique. I think that whole drive to the end is really fucking strong. My big note for this one is mess and saying the word go over and over again. Name a better pair. But I really like the way the song goes for the most part. It's just all the distortion kind of kills it for me. So I think objectively that's my lowest, especially because I kind of liked Holy Ghost Spirit a little bit more. Like overall, I think Holy Ghost Spirit, because it's like what the first like non-single on the album as you're like rolling into the first listen. And I thought like overall like the general like objective build and like breakdown of the song is really strong. I like the taglines beginning and ends of like the distortion of the song are really good. A lot of the layered vocals in this one also fucking pound a lot of the time. Especially in that last like 40 seconds or so of the song. It's just fucking layered central. It's so good. So I think objectively it doesn't bring a ton to the table, but it's still like you said, Tyler, it does what it does really well. Also, that zooming through my room thing, I'll sleep when I'm awake, is very, very groovy and like calming. Like I'm gonna wrap myself up in a blanket and like fall asleep. I'm like, ooh, wow. And I love that. So I have like no really negative knocks against that one, but I do against Two Secret Weapons. So I personally think it should probably be lower.
That's fair. Well, how would you rank these two against each other, Brennan? Would you put Two Secret Weapons under Holy Ghost Spirit as well?
That's tough because I think, yeah, you know what, I would, yeah,
Okay.
because I don't think Holy Ghost Spirit does anything really bad. It's just really weak.
That's fair.
While Two Secret Weapons has things I don't necessarily enjoy.
And the We're just gonna lock those in 17 and 16 respectively. And then I think One Man's Cringe should be next, unless you have another song to throw into the ring. Because I really like One Man's Cringe, but the John Mess part in that is not like my favorite thing in the world. Like it's
Really?
yeah, like it sounds good, but it's like it's just for some reason it doesn't grab me as much. There's still like a ton that song does right though. I don't want to like discredit that at all. Just that's kind of what holds it back for me is just like the John Mess part that kind of like starts it off. It's just I don't know, it just doesn't grab me that much. It's a very subjective thing, but
It's interesting.
yeah. I do think though, like specifically the guitar lick at like 215-ish or whatever is like fresh as hell. And I think the
Absolutely.
stripped down part after that, where it like goes back and forth between Tillian and Andrew, is like so fucking cool. And like they even added in some like extra like harmonies and like layering shit in the back too, and it's like really good. Like this is the problem with this album. Every song does at least one like monumentally amazing thing. And like it makes it so hard to rank them. So like if you guys don't want One Man's Cringe to be next, that's fine. That is just like the one that comes to mind for me. But if you have another song that you think should be next instead, I'm open to suggestions.
I don't. I can't say I really have anything else though. Looking at this list, I like. I'm trying to like think of like, is there anything like sticking out with these songs I don't like? But fuck, the Andrew Wells Tillian part though brings this thing so much.
I know it is so good, but also like there's so many other songs that like feature similar things, you know, not necessarily like the same, but like Andrew Ellis has more parts that one could say are better. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but like you could say that, and like I don't know. I just like if we get hung up on like every little like minor thing, it's just gonna make this impossible.
I mean, I say send it, but Kyle, I want to hear what Kyle say first.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the boat to put this next. It's really tough because I think like everything we talked about, as far especially that like after the lick with all the fucking the back and forth shit is godlike. I love that shit. I also personally really like the Mess lyrics in this one. I actually made a note about how much I actually liked it in this one.
Okay.
Personally, it was,
yeah.
I guess it's just a subjective thing.
Yeah, it's just subjective.
I also just the thing that this song does really well, because like I'd say everything before the lick has a lot of like a ballady feel to me. Like there's a lot of like kind of lower sweeping moments, and the way that they just very subtly incorporate instrumentals like into the ballady parts, like just over time, you just get like drops of like the next instrument to like just really subtly, like you don't even realize it's happening, kind of building that gets you back to the big mess, like the don't listen to acceptance speeches bit is so well done. It's so well written. I really like that. But I do think that like overall, this song just doesn't like. It's gonna be tough. There's a lot of songs here. This song is just not gonna catch me as much as others. I'm gonna come back to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna groove to fucking Cream of the Crop or something more often than I'm gonna come back to this ballady-esque song. But I think they do it well.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing with One Man's Cringe is like I think that the end of this song is fucking amazing, but like the lead up to it is like it's good, not great. So I'm gonna say we lock it in for the sake of time. We move on. If you're angry,
real hard part.
Yeah, this is the actually like insanely difficult part. And if your song is already out, let us know in the comments below. I apologize. They're all great. This is the most impossible thing to rank in the world. Can we, I guess, just to sort of split this in a way that would make us make progress in some facet, can we just compare the singles by themselves right now? Get those in an order and then start to put things in around them.
It's a toughie. I will say, as just as a blanket statement, single wise for this album, god tier single releases.
Oh, for sure,
They just dropped so many good things with such a good array of vibes. Like you had a lot of fucking variety across the singles. That like, good job picking. Great job, guys. I love that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning away, a general way. How are we gonna do this? Are we throwing out opinions? What are we doing?
Cream of the Crop's the best of the singles. I'm just saying that blanket statement, 100% factual. Like, that's just the truth.
So I knew you were gonna say this, and that's okay.
Truth.
And I'm gonna put out my opinion, which is that there are tiers. Okay.
Okay.
There are two in the top, one in the middle, and two in the bottom. And the bottom tier is still God tier, but then they increase from there, like kind of situation.
Sure.
None
So
of
it's
them
like
are bad.
God plus, and God
So
supreme.
it's like
Yes.
it's like worst of the litter kind of deal.
Yeah,
Like,
but
okay.
still better than anything Hot Mulligan's released. So I I think that the two in the lowest tier for me are Pop Off and Feels Bad Man. For me.
I agree.
In the middle tier, I place Synergy. And in the top tier, I put Die Another Day and Cream of the Crop.
See, for me, slightly different. I would say that Pop Off and Feels Bad Man are the bottom of this sandwich we're making. The middle, the meat part is Synergy and Die Another Day, and then the top bun, that's Cream of the Crop on its own, 100%.
Okay.
No contest.
I mean, because like I knew you were coming in with Cream of the Crop being the one.
It's
with the
just
crown
We
here,
Own the Night, but better.
We'll talk about it.
No, cream of the crop. It. I think there's a lot more going on than like We Own the Night ever did. Like, especially before like the big change up. If anything, it's more like fuck. What is the song? I know this. It's on Mothership. Hold up.
Chucky?
No.
Inspire?
Yeah, it's like Inspire the Liars meets like I want to say Care, but like not like as extreme. Like because like the songs have like a lot going on, but then like the end of it has kind of like a groovy like you hear like the instrumental like like the orchestral kind of vibe in it. I think that's more accurate than We Own the Night. I do. I guess my fucking shit tier sandwich. For me, yeah, Cream of the Crop towards the top for sure. I actually like Pop Off a lot more than you guys do.
Okay, it's a
I
good
think
song. I mean, I respect it.
Yeah, because I think Tillian like it's not. I mean, I don't think it's like the best shit on the record. I don't even think it's the best of the singles, but like Tillian really like goes off in that song. Not even like just like performance wise, even like lyrically wise. Like you get like this sense of like he has like this bad bitch that he's fucking with, but like she is absolutely toxic and he's wondering if he should pull the pin on this grenade or not. But like his deep subconscious is telling him like not to, but he's like, fuck it, I'm going for it. Fuck. Yeah, I think Cream of the Crop's the top. For me, like Pop Off and Die Another Day are just beneath that. And then Synergy and Feels Bad Man are at the bottom. That's my tier sandwich.
I think that like, and I kind of said this in the reaction, right? I think Feels Bad Man is the worst of the singles, only because it is the one that tries the least, and it's like just a more like streamlined song. It is not bad. I love that song.
Same.
I like adore that song. It is so good, and it smokes like entire halves of other albums. Like it's just such a fucking good song. But like I said in the reaction, it is a vibe. It's not a banger. Very different things. And I think that like because the other singles are bangers and they do a lot more and they give you that roller coaster ride, variety basket of bullshit that you expect from DGD. I think that it defaults to the lowest of the singles just by that. But it is still a fantastic song.
And going off of what you're saying, I think I said it to you right after the single had come out, Tyler. I don't remember we were playing some game or something. But on an album with 18 songs, I need songs like this
Yes,
to be on
exactly.
there.
Yes.
Because like it does everything it's trying to do, be a vibe, be really fucking cool, give John Mess a moment to like really shine with how much he is like the spearhead of the song. It gives you just like a really chill moment. It does everything it's trying to do at a masterclass level, but it's not trying to do too much like some other songs like Die Another Day or Cream of the Crop for me. And that's okay. Like in most times that we do these album reviews and rankings, I think songs that we put lower on the list in the mind of the people will end up being like, oh, these songs aren't as good. And on this album, from Two Secret Weapons up, it hasn't been that. It's just like these songs do something different for me. And so when I hit shuffle, I'm going to get a different experience. But objectively, on a songwriting perspective, they're not as like complex as well written. And that's why Feels Bad Man is at the bottom. It's still incredible. Still gives me a great time. But I think the other songs do more.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of in agreement that Cream of the Crop is going to be at the top of the singles, and Feels Bad Man is going to be at the bottom. I think, unless I'm off base about Cream being the top bun, but I mean I don't.
Man.
It just
it really is the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not for the entire record, but definitely for the singles.
I think there's other songs that could probably possibly beat it, but just in this fight, Cream of the Crop is the cream of the crop. Pun absolutely intended.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
It makes me. I wanted to name the title of that reaction video. I creamed my crops listening to Dance Gavin Dance, and I didn't. But like that's how I feel, and I'm sticking to that. Now, the meat of this single sandwich is where we're having discrepancies. It seems like. So this is going to be the battle we're going to have now. Is how we're going to order these ingredients of our single sandwich. I am going to say that I think in order from bottom meat to top meat, in my opinion, it is Pop Off, Synergy, Die Another Day. Is that, do you agree?
I know Brendan's on a thumbs up, but that's
I know
exactly
Brendan
how
is
I
not
put
going
it.
to approve that.
No, I mean, if I'm outvoted, it is what it is. But
in my opinion, I think Die Another Day is the best single they released. Personally, I think that song goes to crazy fucking places and does them all in such a fucking exponentially incredible level. I understand that more so subjectively, maybe Cream of the Crop is like your cut and paste DGD done at like a higher level. So like in a DGD ranking, I can see why maybe Cream of the Crop would be higher. And it does a lot. Don't get me wrong. That's why I said these two are on the same tier for me personally. But like, damn, man, I can't believe you guys weren't more higher on Die Another Day, dude. That song does so fucking much.
Oh
man.
no, it's a fantastic
that song's
song.
grown on me a lot because obviously when I listened to it the first time for the reaction, I was like, this isn't as good as the other ones. But like, in my defense, the day that came out was the same day that Royal Coda song came out, and I listened to that first, and that shit like blew my mind. So like anything really compared to that was not gonna do it for me that day. But in over more listens, I definitely respect it a lot more, and I think that it's objectively better than the other.
Are we heading to a pink elephant situation, and we're not even ranking the album?
I am okay with giving Cream of the Crop at the top. I'm just putting it out there. I think Die Another Day, personally, I think is the best of the singles. It's my favorite mess moment on the album, for sure.
Wow.
Die Another Day for me. That fucking where like it comes in after the last time Andrew Wells does the crazy fucking guitar riffs. It comes in, it starts like matching the fucking instrumentals pounding, and then like the instrumentals go off of it to do off beats, and he's still fucking going. He doesn't like drop a fucking beat. I've never been more fucking in for a John Mess moment in my life. And then it like gives you the tasty slower bits right after. You get Tillian doing like everything. He does the high note right before, and then he gets all down and groovy right after. I think it gives you everything you fucking want. So,
all right.
I think that's the highest for me of the three that we're talking about here.
Well, still under the creamy bun, but
that's fine. That's fine. I understand. I'm out
by vote. This the order of the singles now is Cream of the Crop, Die Another Day, Synergy, Pop Off.
Oh, wait, you're the only one that voted on the total fucking
but then Kyle approved it.
I have
So
the
I
exact
Oh.
So it was
myself.
automatic. I mean,
All right, so to say my thing, I'd put Feels Bad Man at the bottom, Synergy, Pop Off, uh, Die Another Day, and then Cream of the Crop.
yeah. So
I
the
think
only difference is just synergy of pop off.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of Synergy. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Really?
It's okay.
Wow.
Like it's okay. Like I don't know.
I feel like if you want to
for
go
what's
ahead.
up?
Sorry. I was just gonna say if you want to hear like our full opinions, we've talked about it a ton, like when the single came out. So you can
Yeah.
hear us like big time break it down. But what has changed for you, Brennan? I'm curious.
I just like listening to it, like the Rob Damiani like feature. Like it's good, but the song really doesn't need it. Um, like I feel like a lot of things on the record, like in like entire pieces, like just do a lot more than that track. Because it kind of like for me, it seems like they had the feature and they kind of like wrote the rest of the song around it. In order to like make like that, that part really pop. Um, like I've given up or whatever the fuck they say. Hey, I had to re-listen to it, but like I got a lot more from like the rest of the record, and I got a lot more from the rest of the singles, except Feels Bad Man. But I think that's literally just because it came out like yesterday. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, but that's just my opinion. I mean, obviously I'm
Yeah,
not voted. It is what
that's
it
fair.
is. But yeah.
I would talk about it more, but just for the sake of time, since we've already kind of talked about it in different formats, I guess we'll move on from that one.
Right.
But now I'm gonna ask us to do this to clear the table a little bit. I've thought about this a lot, like in preparation for how we were gonna do this because of how fucking difficult this is. I'm gonna have us do a round of tabling just to clear the board a little bit. So Brandon, I'm gonna start with you. What would you like to table?
Ooh, start with me.
Yes.
Ember.
All right, I respect the fuck out of that. I respect,
respect
the
it
fuck out
too.
of that. All right,
Ember's
Kyle,
a
what are you
ripper,
tabling?
dude.
This is tough, man. I've got a couple that I really want to fucking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the Jeers myself.
Hell yes.
I respect that too.
I
Hell yeah.
respect
Yeah.
that as well. And I, without a second thought, am tabling Swallowed by Eternity.
Yes, that's the other one I wanted.
Yes.
Let's
Holy
go,
Trinity.
baby.
All right. So those are out of the way. We'll talk about those later. We are left with to try to intermix into the singles. We have Polka Dot Dobbins, Long Nights in Jail, Back on Deck, Current Events, Pray to God for Your Mother, Have a Great Life. This is still a lot.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot. Are there any out of what I just listed that stand out as being the quote unquote worst of that bunch?
Jesus.
There's so many songs. On this
Uh,
album.
I know.
This is ridiculous.
I would say personally, of that list of songs, I think Back on Deck and Pray to God for Your Mother are like the top of those, the top of that
Oh.
bushel of songs.
I thought you were about to
dude.
throw it to the
No,
bottom.
I thought
was
I thought you were
so
gonna say
nervous.
Back on Deck was at the bottom, and I was
No,
gonna slap
fuck
you.
no.
Holy
I have
shit.
faced. No, Back on Deck and Pray to God for Your Mother are like my two standouts of the bundle of songs that are left.
I agree.
Okay, we'll shift those up. Those will basically be pseudo tabled at this point.
I'm fine with that. So what does that leave us with?
That leaves us with 1 second. I'm moving a lot of stuff around. Polka Dot Dobbins, Long Nights in Jail, Current Events, Have a Great Life. That's four. That's easy to deal.
That's easy.
Okay, this is
All right.
manageable.
Here's what I'm gonna throw out to you. I have an opinion.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I think Polka Dot Dobbins is next. And I love the song. I think it's great. I'm gonna say that about every song we talk about at this point. However, I think the choice that the only way I can describe it is the guitar is twangy in this song, and I love that. I think that brings a new element to the table. It gives you another spice in the stew of this album. However, it doesn't really do it as much as other songs for me, especially in this little bundle here. You got Have a Great Life, Sending You Off in a Beautiful Way. Long Nights in Jail is groovy as fuck. Fucking Current Events maybe is also down lower. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But to my opinion, Polka Dot Dobbins, just that twanginess doesn't catch me as much as the others.
I am kind of in agreement. maybe
I
not
will.
for like the same reasons,
Okay.
but like Polka Dot Dobbins, I think verse 2, the switch up for verse 2 made me come my pants. It's funky, fresh, and good, and I really like it. But in general, I think that I have a lot more like standout moments than the other songs, like collectively, because that was like the real big standout thing for Polka Dot Dobbins for me was just like that part, like that switch up was really cool. Also, like the lyrics of that part are just really, really cool too, based on recent events which you talked about. It just immediately made me think of things. So I like cool. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that song. But Brennan, what do you think about Polka Dot Dobbins?
Swish, 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 swish. That part, I don't know what it is. Like that part, like kind of turns me away a little bit.
Fair.
Like it kind of hits me similar to literally the song right before it, Two Secret Weapons, like that crazy little skip part. I'm never a fan when bands do that. Uh, for some reason I get like Memphis May Fire vibes when I hear that. The rest of the song is really good though, and even the part that you suggest, where they have like that change up, and they kind of like allude to it like earlier in the track with like the guitar just kind of having like a 2 chord progression and like Tillian like working off of that. Like I love those kinds of parts, and I mean they absolutely fucking nail it in Stroke God, but like they have those parts where like the instrumentals like kind of just holding like that similar kind of vibe, and then they let the vocalist just kind of do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Tillian like really kills it in that part. But the rest of the track is okay. It does have some decent parts, but I mean, we have a murderer's row of songs here, and I can't put Polka Dot Dobbins ahead of any of them as much as I like the parts that it does have.
That's fair. Now, since we've decided that that is going to be the bottom of those ones left, how are we going to fit this into the single sandwich? Does it go, is it a new bottom bun or is it a meat?
Oh, bottom bun for sure.
I would put it above Feels Bad Man.
I think I might too, and that's
But
really hard.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'd put it any higher than
No.
that.
Same. I think same. Fuck. This is hard.
It's tough. It's so tough.
They do
I
such different
agree.
things, those two songs, you know? It's
Yeah.
man.
I
Yeah, I'd
just feel
probably
like
agree.
objectively, we like because of the way that we rank these things, because of the metric that we base this off of, I feel like Feels Bad Man has to default to being 14 just because it is the quote unquote
Jesus.
simple song.
We
Yeah,
are
I
not
don't
far at
think we
all.
should put anything else underneath that.
that's fair. I'm okay with this. Tough, but I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Am
But I
okay?
definitely don't think Polka Dot Dobbin should be above any of the other singles, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
think I agree.
All right, cool. Making progress. Now, the other 3 left that we have to work around or in this sandwich that we have at the top of the pile right now. Long Nights in Jail, Current Events, Have a Great Life. I'm going to say very like absurdly hot take, which will probably get shot down. I think Have a Great Life might be underneath Long Nights in Jail and Current Events because I think that we already got a perfect album ender in Swallowed by Eternity. And by comparison, that song was not as great. It's still great. It is still a great album ender, but we already have a phenomenal album ender, the song before it. And by comparison, it felt like the order should have been switched, and that was like kind of a little knock against me. I got Kyle to clap for me and stand. This is
So that's pretty much the same exact thing that happened in the last record.
yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yes.
it should
Yes.
end on nothing shameful,
But not nearly to the same degree because
No,
I
no,
think
no, no,
that
no.
like the ender for Afterburner was just not a good ender, and like it should have honestly when we re-rank that album, I'm probably gonna vote for that to be at the bottom. But like I still think that freaking Have a Great Life is still an incredible song. I still
Same.
think it's great, and it still works as an album ender. So like it's not an absolute sin that they have it there. It's just that I think that the song before it, blows it out of the water in every facet, and it's just like by comparison, just in that fight, it feels like it doesn't have as much impact because of it. But Have a Great Life is still absolutely amazing. I mean, just the ending with Andrew Wells, like the build up and everything, it's similar to like how they structured the song before it, but like I don't know, man. It's just such a good song.
I think you put it best that like I mean I was worried that I was gonna be throwing out a hot take because I do think that Have a Great Life is like a super solid album ender. Like if Swallow for Eternity wasn't right before it, I wouldn't think that. You know, like it's just like it's right there, guys. Come on, that song fucking rips.
Yeah.
So I think Have a Great Life though, overall, I think like it's gonna be one of those album enders that when I see them live, they're gonna do, and everyone's just gonna be fucking just yeah. Oh my god, have a great life. And it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have a great time. But as far as like objectivity goes, the whole like everything, it's basically like that chanty bit for like half of that song, and it feels great. I love that, but it's not like comparatively to other things, it doesn't do as much to me.
Yeah. Are you in the same boat, Brennan?
Yes. Swallowed by Eternity should have definitely been the album ender, and I don't think I could put this song ahead of Current Events or Long Nights in Jail. So I'm in agreement for sure.
Awesome. This is going very smoothly. Now, how do we want to shove this into the sandwich? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna say it goes under the singles.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, I mean, from where we're at now, because like Feels Bad Man, we've abandoned, right?
Well,
like,
yes,
that's
Feels
just
Bad Man
down.
is like gone.
Yeah.
I'm saying of
Yeah.
like
Okay, I just want to make sure that's where we're.
You're saying like Pop
singles
Off
and the top
up.
button.
Yeah.
Okay.
The new
Yeah,
bottom butt of singles is Pop Off.
So you're
I'm
saying
s-
under Pop Off?
Yeah, I'm saying under.
Oh,
pop.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Without a
Cool.
doubt. Yeah.
This is going so much better than I thought this was going to go. Okay, so we have these two songs left in the non-tabled section that we have to fit into the sandwich and pile. We have Long Nights in Jail and Current Events. Jesus, do I not know which of these two is better? Like, I'm at a complete and total loss. I think we just need to sort of talk about one of them and then talk about the other one and then just see what happens. So, Brennan, pick one of these songs and talk about it, please.
That's tough. I like them both. I think Long Nights in Jail is incredibly groovy. Like the instrumentals in the background, like with Tillian kind of doing his thing, it's like really fucking hot. But then Current Events, like the one part, what is I don't want to sing it, but like I remember hearing it like in like a promo somewhere and wondering like where the fuck in the album is this gonna be because this is tasty. Yeah, it's I don't know,
Line Talking
man.
Heads "Fuck the Feds" is hilarious, and I
Yes.
laughed
Yeah.
audibly when I heard it the first time.
Like both of these tracks, they are good like indicators of like where the band is because it's like some of their lesser stuff, but it's still like this good. Fuck.
Can I give
Out
you
of these two, I really don't know, man.
Can I give you like an opinion that is like the only thing that might be swaying me at this moment?
Yeah,
Go for it. Might help me out.
I love both these songs. I think they both do so many cool things. They're both so groovy. The bass line in Long Nights in Jail I like more.
That is,
And
yeah.
that as far as like bass presence, Long Nights in Jail is like really catching with that bass line, and I don't get it as much in Current Events.
I will also say that I think Long Nights in Jail is an example of like how to masterfully like construct a song with like yeah, I always talk about how I love songs that build, and Jesus fucking Christ, this song is like the ultimate example of that because it starts from nothing and it builds up and then like it gets to the chorus where it's like paying off and then it still just carries that momentum through to the following part before it like does an actual like deconstruction, and it's just so awesome, and like it's just such a new like fresh way of doing that, and it was just so cool. Oh, Kyle lost power. I was wondering why he froze. That's not great.
Jesus.
What a time. What a time for this to happen. All right, we're going to pause for technical difficulty. Cool, we're back. Kyle's power came back on. Neat.
Neato
That was
burrito.
fun. What were we talking about? Long
Current
nights in jail. We
events
were talking about
and
long
events.
nights in jail. And
Versus
how
current
it's the master
events.
class of how to construct a song and build it and all that stuff. And I think that is the reason that I would probably give that the edge over current events. Because as much as I love current events, and I think that the lyrics in current events are really great and relatable and fun. I also don't really like how abrupt the ending in current events is. That's like the one like minuscule drawback to that song.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think like current events still has so much going for it though.
Yeah, that's
Like, it
the
has
only
an Andrew
thing.
Wells part. The last 30 seconds, it's like switching up like between like Tillian harmonies and John Mess breakdowns and stuff. It's just like they're both just such good songs. I mean,
Absolutely.
they really are.
I think that the only thing that current events wins over Long Nights in Jail to me is that it goes so many places and does them all so well, and like the switch ups between them are really cool. However, I think like a really well structured song that like you said is masterclass in building and deconstructing, I think objectively takes the edge over a song that does a lot of little things really well to me and does like a good job going between them.
I can agree. So is that like what we're deciding? Are we all unanimously in agreement that Long Nights in Jail is over current events?
I can
am.
agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now for the hard part. How do we put this in the sandwich? I'm gonna say we either I would be fine with one of two things. We put it under Cream and above all the other singles, or we keep them above the entire sandwich altogether.
Neither of these are better than Cream. Neither of these I feel are better than
Die
Die Another Day.
I agree.
I'd put them over Die Another Day, but if I'm outvoted, I don't care.
No.
I'd say the only real thing I could argue that it being above in that sandwich is Pop Off.
I agree.
So are you saying that you want it to be above Pop Off and under Synergy? Or above Pop Off and Synergy?
I'd put it above Synergy.
I would also.
I keep forgetting that's even a thing.
I'm okay with this.
Okay, so we're putting it between. We're putting both of them between Die Another Day and Synergy.
Betwixt.
Okay. Yeah. Betwixt. I'm okay with this. We can do that.
I'm down.
Yeah, let's do that.
I feel as though maybe I would have fought for Synergy more if it wasn't for like the fact that it's been out the longest. But to save time,
there's just so many other good songs, though. I mean,
yeah.
All right, we're on to
Yeah.
The 5 songs that were tabled. So we're into like the real fucking fight now. We're in like the top tier shit. What do we want to talk about first? I guess we could talk about Back on Deck and Pray to God for Your Mother first, since they were technically not tabled.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So who wants to talk about something first?
Can I start the argument?
Yeah.
I think Pray to God for Your Mother is better.
Okay. Why?
Just immediate takeaway for me. I think that instrumentally, objectively, and like from a songwriting standpoint, I think Pray to God for Your Mother is just a fucking crazy journey. It's got like the fucking that little vocal back and forth part from Tillian, just really fucking just giving you like that percussive feel. Like it does a good job bringing in the vocals to be instrumental bits. Instrumentals come in to be like the really big melodic bits throughout it. I think that it gives you that chanty bit in the chorus that everyone loves. I think it gives you the really groovy guitar licks right off the bat. Like everything about it, it gives you all those classic DGD things all together in one track. And it's just so well written. I love it. I think Back on Deck, however, I think falls a little bit more into a poppier vein. I know it's kind of sacrilegious to say, but overall, I think, especially in the verses, Back on Deck falls into a bit more of like a poppier progression, maybe, is the way to say it. I'm not super certain. But in general, I think Back on Deck is really catchy. It's really, every time it comes on, I'm gonna fucking vibe to it. But I think like complexity wise, I think Pray to God for Your Mother is just like fucking left, right, everywhere, flipping your brain upside down, just taking you on journeys that Back on Deck doesn't quite do.
Okay. Brandon.
I love the little smile at the end.
Because it's hard. It's hard.
It's
I mean, it's
like
hard
a
for me to
D&D
say,
game, Flash the Teeth.
Yeah, Flash the Teeth,
There's
baby.
a reference no one will get because we've never talked about it outside of our friends.
So,
Brendan, how do you feel about these two songs? Do you agree with Kyle? Do you vehemently disagree with Kyle?
extremely subjective take. I preferred Back on Deck by a mile.
Oh no.
I mean, like I said, that's purely subjective. I mean, everything Kyle has said is totally correct. I'm not arguing with Kyle on that. I would much rather listen to Back on Deck than Pray to God for Your Mother. I do think Pray to God for Your Mother does do a hell of a lot more. It goes a lot more different places. Some of like the vocal selection I'm not a big fan of. However, like it's definitely different and unique, and I like that the band isn't trying to like do the same thing on every song, because one of my big fears for DGD is that they can get kind of formulaic. Especially like their last, couple releases. So I would fuck. I prefer Back on Deck subjectively, but Pray to God for Your Mother is still a pretty excellent track. So
that means I have to be a tiebreaker, and I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of listening to both right now just to really solidify, because this is hard for me to choose between these two.
And I can totally see what you're talking about too, Brennan. Like, I think I don't know if it's the simplicity or what it is of Back on Deck that like just the way that it hits you is so good. Like, it's just like really easy listening that just you vibe with really hard, that I can totally see why you'd like subjectively want to come back to it more. I can see where you're coming from. I stand by what I said though. I still think objectively.
No.
I put Pray to God. So.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I totally agree with everything you said. Back on Deck is like more of like an actual song, like more of just like a normal song.
That's fair.
But then Pray to God for Your Mother, like the places it goes is definitely a lot more like adventurous and like.
What a civil argument we've gotten into. This is beautiful. I love it.
Because I think we both see like where the other's coming from, and it's like solid take. All right.
I genuinely. I don't know how to choose, but I love these songs equally. Like they're both immaculate. I don't want to have to make this decision. This is like putting two puppies in front of me and be like, shoot a puppy. And I'm like, I don't want to shoot either puppy because they're puppies. And then the puppy that I don't shoot has to watch me shoot another puppy. Like there's no winners here. No matter what I do, I can't. I'm a bad person for having to shoot one of these puppies. I don't know. I will say, before we order these, before I have to pull the trigger on this, how do we feel that both of these songs stack up compared to Cream of the Crop?
Fuck. I'd put Cream of the Crop above both of them.
Okay. Kyle?
I'd go as far to say that I think both of these are underneath Die Another Day and
I would not
Cream of the Crop for me. Personally. I think at the very least, when we're talking objectively, I could see an argument for Praying to God for Your Mother being above Die Another Day, but I think objectively Die Another Day needs to be over top of Back on Deck. Personally.
I disagree with that. Personally.
Interesting.
If I get outvoted, that's fine, because I did before. I think Die Another Day like stays where it's at. I don't think that moves anymore, in my opinion. I think it's reached the highest place it can get to. Like, that shit's locked for me. I can't justify putting either of these songs underneath that one. In my mind.
I disagree with you wildly. Like, I have never... I mean, like, dude... I get that Back on Deck is really catchy, but I think that, like, it lands in the same tier as Feels Bad Man, but way higher objectively. where like it does what it does extremely well. It gives you exactly what you come to it for like a really solid fucking DGD track. And so many great things, like the bridge in it's phenomenal. Like a normal like song structure, like Brennan was saying, it's like it writes the normal song, you know? And then the last layering of that song is really fucking good. But Die Another Day just fucking hits you with incredible building in the fucking verses, into like just a gorgeous, passionate chorus, into just noodly guitars from Andrew Wells, into really great John Mess fucking fast things.
Wait,
into
whatever happened to Will Swan?
Oh, well, but I see. We thought. I remember in your reaction, you were like, "Damn, Swan's going nuts." And then in the music video for that song, Andrew Wells is the one doing that really fast guitar lick there, and I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go, Daddy Dola." But I
just immediately think of Will Swan when I think.
No, I know that's exactly what I thought originally too.
I feel like for the most part he does, but they probably let Andrew Wells like do his thing like here and there.
Because I'm still not adjusted to the fact that like Andrew Wells is actually like in the band writing music with them now. I'm just used to him being on tour with them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think objectively, Die Another Day at least has to be over Back on Deck for me.
No.
I'm gonna throw a fucking wrench in here.
Do it.
I think Die Another Day is above these two. I do.
That's not really throwing a wrench. That's just agreeing with Kyle.
That's exactly where I'm at.
All right, so throwing a wrench in for Tyler's plans, because I know a lot of comments are like, Kyle always gets upvoted. Kyle's opinions are relevant. It's like, no, like Kyle actually brings up a really good point here. Because Back on Deck, I love it. I think it's an absolutely fantastic song, but it's just a song. Like it doesn't take you on the roller coaster. It doesn't take you like all kinds of crazy places that a good chunk of this album does. And Pray to God for Your Mother, I mean, subjectively and objectively, like some of the things that like they've chosen to do in that track, I think like weigh it back a little bit. Like some of John Mess's like pitched vocals are kind of weird for me, like especially towards the end when they're actually saying like "Pray to God for Your Mother."
Fair.
And I don't think that makes them bad songs. I think that just holds them back a little bit. While I don't really get a lot of negativity from Die Another Day, I do think it's worse than Cream of the Crop, and I think it's worse than probably everything else we've tabled. But I think that's more because the song is kind of limited compared to those tracks, but doesn't really have anything wrong. While the other two tracks kind of have things that aren't wrong, but hold it back even further. So I would put Die Another Day above both of these. But then that's probably the extent that I'd put Die Another Day.
I'm down for that. That's exactly what I was starting to think in my head.
That's fine.
Personally.
If I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted. You guys are probably right. I just like...
Brandon, I could kiss you.
Genuinely
Yes.
don't really care about Die Another Day that much. I really don't. I think it's objectively better than the other singles, which is why I was like, yeah, put it there. But like, I think a lot of people are really just like getting their beans off to that song more than they should. Like, I'm kind of in the boat of like Brendan thinks Synergy's overrated. I think Die Another Day is like a little bit overrated. It's good, but like, come on.
I think it's
roast
good,
me in the comments. I don't care. It's a good song. I'm not gonna like fight about it too much. And I'm outvoted, so like it is what it is.
Oh.
And I'm like, I would listen. If I were to like just pick a song to listen to off this album now, I would immediately go to Pray to God for Your Mother or Back on Deck before I would go to Die Another Day. Like 9 times out of 10. But that's just me, and that's very subjective. So
I respect your opinion.
I concede that you guys are probably right in an objective sense.
Objectively. But then like I would go to Back on Deck and Die Another Day before I go back to Pray to God for Your Mother.
I could probably agree with that actually myself.
I am going to, since I have to be the tiebreaker, I'm actually going to give Back on Deck the edge. Just because I like the chorus of Back on Deck more than I like the chorus of Pray to God for Your Mother.
You know, that's really fair.
It's
actually
very subjective and it's very slight, but I have to find some kind of reason to differentiate these two. So that's what I'm going to go with. And it's like, you could ask me tomorrow and I could be on a completely different planet. But in this moment, that just feels like the right decision for me.
I feel like it would probably be the decision for most people. It's like more melodic than the the Praying to God for Your Mother
I also
one,
just
so.
really like lyrically, like the chorus for Back on Deck too.
Fair.
Like I think that it was like it's just some really good content, you know.
We love good content.
I mean, they both are honestly, but
Yeah.
like the Back on Deck one was like more relatable for me. So I'm gonna give it a subjective edge there. But those are both under Die Another Day and Cream of the Crop. We are now on to the 3 that we actually tabled.
We're in the final 5, baby.
Wait,
Yeah.
should you give these people a
technically
recap?
final 4 because Die Another
Yeah.
Day has been
Yeah. and I'm
insert
okay
the
with
meme.
that.
Should you give the people a recap?
Yeah, I guess we can do a recap. Yeah, it's been a lot. So 18 is Untitled 2. 17, Two Secret Weapons. I hate that there's fucking numbers in these bottom 2. That makes it so confusing to list them off in number form.
Yeah.
16 is Holy Ghost Spirit. 15, One Man's Cringe. 14, Feels Bad Man. 13, Polka Dot Dobbins. 12, Have a Great Life. 11, Pop Off. 10, Synergy. 9, Current Events. 8, Long Nights in Jail. 7, Pray to God for Your Mother. 6, Back on Deck. 5, Die Another Day. 4, Cream of the Crop. And Cream of the Crop could move.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Die Another Day has been stopped.
That's fine. I'm okay with this. I was fully prepared to jump on the grenade of it being 5th. I think like it peaking in the top 5 is a great place for it.
Yeah.
Personally, objectively wise, against like the whole album, especially when you think about 18. Also, I'd like to put out there, just like from something I've seen perusing the internet, there's been a lot of like, "What's your favorite song from the album?" Initially, the amount of Feels Bad Man responses I have seen is
triggering.
cool because like it's a good song. However, if you're watching this video and you have that opinion, I'm sorry. But
I don't think I've ever seen that. Like, I've seen some stuff about like people posting what's their favorite song, and I've been seeing a lot of Swallowed by Eternity, a lot of like I saw a lot of Back on Deck. I saw a lot of fucking Die Another Day. Honestly, I did not see any comments about about the one you said, but I guarantee they're out
sample
there.
sizes.
I definitely believe you.
Yeah. Well,
I actually
So what do
saw a
we
lot of Two Secret Weapons, honestly. Too.
I did too. I was just about to say that, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that's
I
fine.
still like that song. It's just
Same.
when you have to rank them, you have to kill kids you like, and that's just
Then
the
and
way-
that one lady that messaged us on Instagram said Holy Ghost Spirit was her favorite.
really?
One of her favorites, and I was just like,
And Ember though.
and
Ember
Ember.
Ember's
And Ember
great.
is phenomenal.
Ember
Yeah,
Let's
is
talk about Ember
fucking-
first. That's a good segue.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh boy,
Who tabled this one?
I did.
Brennan.
Okay, well then Brennan, you can talk about this song first.
Motherfucker, dude. First off, instrumentally, this song starts off and absolutely does not relent. Then it has like I love how like it like calms down, like everything like, strips away, and then you have I can't remember what the hell the song is. I want to say it's from Artificial Selection, where like all of a sudden you have like the guitars kind of having like a weird kind of effect where I can't even tell you what the hell it sounds like, but and then it immediately like picks back up and like I just gush over it because like oh that opening riff's so tasty, and then like the chorus like how oh fuck like I can't even put it into words like like this track just like does so much and does it like so often throughout the entire like what is it 346 that the track runs for. I mean, to me this is like top notch shit.
Yeah.
Along with the other two singles, like I'm like struggling to like put into words how I feel about it.
I definitely think that Ember and For the Jeers specifically have the two best choruses on the album, in my opinion.
Same.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't necessarily think that they should be 1 and 2, but I think that they have the best choruses.
I think I agree.
Like Ember specifically, I think the vocal layering in Ember is one of the most god tier examples I have ever seen of doing vocal layering. Like it's just insane. It is immaculate the way that they managed to do that. And the song it's the perfect blend of all the aspects of a DGD song you want. It does all the things that you come to expect. And the way that the song itself just like switches up energy levels, I think is just crazy. Like it just switches on a dime, and it does it in such a way that it doesn't feel jarring. It feels like it works, like it's cohesive. It's on this song is just constructed in an extremely impressive way to me. I very much like Ember a lot. But before I say anything more about that, Kyle, if you would like to talk about Ember and or For the Jeers to segue into your pick.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think your take on like the choruses being the best in the album, I 100% agree with. I get that immediately. As far as Ember goes, to go off of what both of you said, it's like a masterclass in vocal laying, absolutely. But even farther than that, like as like a song writing structure, overall composition of the song, you have those moments where like everything drops out and it's just Tillian with like the electronic, like just single like little note chord moment things, and then like from those moments, it's so raw. It's just Tillian a little electronic thing, and they just like do that sprinkle, and like I talked about in another song. I don't remember which one it was. They sprinkle in the instrumentals over time. You get little moments where the layering comes in, and like Tillian just gets like this awesome like building moment to really just like noodle through his vocal range, or just be awesome. And then the moment you get to the chorus, though, he like starts doing these like huge like just soaring notes, like the one really high note that's fucking incredible in Ember. I fucking love it. And at that moment, when you get to that chorus, the instrumentals then take the forefront of doing the noodly fun stuff. It's a really awesome contrast, back and forth kind of thing that is just written so fucking well. The immediate vibe I got from Ember was We Own the Night, because it does almost the same thing in the fact that like you start out with like pretty just like straight guitar with like Tillian just really showing off. The moment you get to the chorus, the instrumentals take over. He has the really soaring notes all over the place in the background. They're pretty similar, and they give me both incredible vibes. It's kind of a hot take to compare it to We Own the Night, obviously, but I fucking love this song. It's super good.
I love how we've all compared 3 completely different songs to We Own the Night.
That's mad props.
Review.
That is mad props to their writing on this album.
Yeah.
Comparing that to For the Jeers, my initial thought for the Jeers is any comment I've ever seen where people don't want Andrew Wells to be the lead singer of this band is going to hate this song. But that's okay. You're just wrong. This song is incredible. I think the back and fucking forth between Andrew and Tillian in this song is god tier.
Yes.
It's exactly what I was waiting for to see from Andrew getting signed. I was like, we have to have something like this in the album, a little back and forth where Andrew kind of has the fucking lead on it overall. And amongst this back and forth awesomeness, you got like this crazy like time signature switch up groovy fucking beat going on in the background of, and I'm just talking about the chorus here. We haven't got to the fucking verses yet. The fucking verses rip too, man. Like it's it's so fucking tasty. Dude.
I'm gonna say, to cut in here, I think that like I feel like we've said this in the past where, like, you know, Dance Gavin Dance, you always get the disco sex jam on at least one song. This song is just a disco sex jam for like the entire runtime, and I am so here for it, and it is so cool. Like, upon first listen to the album, this was like the big standout track for me. Like the second it started, I was just in it, and it took me to the realm of disco coitus for like its entire runtime, and I was creaming my jeans. My only note, I didn't take any notes my first listen through, except for one note, and I just put in all caps under For the Jeers, I'm coming. And that's all you need to know about that one. However, I do think that Ember maybe should be above it. Because I do think that Ember, on a technical level, does a little bit more, personally. And if I'm outvoted, that's completely fine, because I love both of these songs basically equally for different reasons. Because, like, every listen through the album, For the Jeers was, like, the one that I was like, oh, I'm so excited this one's coming up. And so I was like, this is going to be, like, my default go-to top of the album, whatever. But then the more times I've listened to the album, I listened to it this, like, 8 or 9 times all the way through. And, like, I started to realize, I was like, you know what? I think Ember, because these two tracks are, like, right next to each other. And I was like, I think I actually might like Ember a little bit more, because For the Jeers is funky and groovy, and it does all these things that we've talked about, but I think that Ember just structurally and technically is like just a step above in like every single way. I think that For the Jeers, you could argue, if you listen to it too many times, that it could be slightly repetitive in the chorus a little bit, maybe, and you can't argue that for Ember, And I don't know. I just my heart is going toward Ember being over For the Jeers, but it's very close. It's very, very close.
So, I wish I knew exactly what that person's name is that messaged us on Instagram, because
Wasn't it Jen's
did
Let's
say
Plays?
Oh, like Degurto or Degurto?
Yeah,
or something
Degurto
like
on
that.
there,
Yeah.
but it's the same profile picture as Jen's Let's Plays. I'm assuming
it's the same person.
Okay, I'm assuming
think so,
that.
yeah.
I don't want to assume that, but yes, you said Ember was one of the best songs DGD's ever written. I am 100% on board. I think Ember is one of the greatest songs we've ever written. 100%.
Yes.
I know I table For the Jeers. I think Ember's like just god tier DGD song. It is fucking flawless.
It's real good.
As much as I
Yes.
love For the Jeers, and it's so fucking funky, and it gives me the Daddy Dola fucking tastiness.
Oh,
It gives you an awesome contrast. Something I didn't even talk about, the contrast of like them going back and forth the whole song, and then the final chorus, they come together. And a lot of times on this album, in the mixing, Andrew's like backing vocals aren't as high up as Tillion's, because obvious reasons. But in this, like the end of that song, they're like even, and it sounds so good. Their voices blend so well together. It's so fucking tasty. I love For the Jeers. So fucking good. Objectively though, Ember is one of the greatest songs Dance Gavin Dance has ever released.
How does it stack up though to Swallowed by Eternity? Because I think when I just hear the name of this song, I envision the clouds opening up to like an astral god dragon peeking through the sky and then just blessing me with a boombox made of diamonds. That's what I think of when I hear. That's the experience of listening to Swallowed by Eternity. It's perfect. Swallowed by Eternity is actually immaculate. Like, I know it's not an album ender, but I think it's the best album ender they've ever written.
Same.
Oh, fuck. What a take.
You put
Like,
Brandon
I
on the
don't know.
spot
It's-
earlier.
What?
I was gonna say you put Brandon on the spot earlier for like his table. Can I say that I want to put you on the spot for your table and to talk about this song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The song starts off and it's so beautiful and light, and you're just like, this is gonna be like just one of those songs, It's gonna probably be like a power ballady thing, and then like it 114. I don't know how to describe it, right? I described it as harmony build up double overlay vocal thingy. And it's the coolest shit I've ever heard in my life. And if you've listened to the song, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, then that just sounds like I had a stroke. But it's so fucking good. And it's just, the song is such an epic experience. I don't throw that word around a lot because it's dumb. But like, if I had to describe this song in one word, it is just epic. Like, it is like DGD composed the finale of a Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they're just taking it home, and it's just so emotionally charged, and like you can just hear the passion in all of the vocals and all of the instruments just going crazy and building up and just swelling into this immaculate cacophony of bullshit, and it's incredible. And the part at the end where they give Andrew Wells his, at this point, token like emotional solo that he's had for 3 albums in a row, and this is like the best one yet. It's just so good, and it just pulls on like every fiber of your soul, and you're just like, yes! And then like it peaks, and the whole song comes together, and I'm creaming and crying, and it's the best song, and it's just such a good time. And like, I don't know, this was the song where I was like, I listened to it and I thought the album was over at first, and I was just like, this album is something special, man. I am feeling all the things right now, and this is just, oh boy, this is an emotional experience. And that's Swallowed by Eternity, and that's why I think that should be the number 1 track on the album.
So to add to what you just said, I saw a post by somebody that said that this album is like if Mothership took a sad little vacation and then came home. And this song is the epitome of that, in the fact that this song is Man of the Year, but incredibly matured and has gone through his emo phase and is now like a young budding adult. Everything you said is fucking top notch on the ball. The harmonized layered thingy that you put. I remember like the first time I heard this track, like immediately you get Man of the Year vibes. Like just how it opens, like, you know, really soft instrumental. Like I think it's just one guitar in the background, Tillian kind of setting the stage, like the emotional stage that we're about to watch this play on. And all of a sudden, like the slow build up, like there's a pause, like there's like no sound, and then all of a sudden, like boom, the fucking harmony hits you. And it's like holy fuck, and then you hear like everything start like building around that, and then everything just escalates into the chorus, and it's just like holy shit, like like this song, like I am an Ember stan. I love For the Jeers, but Swallowed by Eternity is like a whole other like take on everything that DGD has done. Yes. And it's like, and Kyle, we haven't even gotten to you yet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go, keep going, man. I love it.
Because Man of the Year, like for Mothership, like Man of the Year and Philosopher King were like the two tracks that were like totally different in the fact that like they brought a totally different vibe. Like, yeah, like they had like, you know, like crazy instrumentals, and like Philosopher King probably has one of the best bridges this band's ever written. But like the vibe of them, and like it wasn't like this cheery, like almost sacrilegiously pop kind of experience that you get a lot from DGD. But like it was just something emotional. It was something like the chord progressions, the instrumentals, the lyrics, the vocals just take you on like this whole different journey that DGD like doesn't bring out that often. And this track just like totally takes you there, and it's totally different than the rest of the album. And I wish this was the album ender. I'm bummed that it's not. Kyle, I want to hear you.
God, dude, it's really tough to put into words, man. But you know, in general, I feel like leading up to this album, listening to all the singles, there's been a lot of people that have like shared the sentiment of this feels like Mothership grew up. And in a lot of ways people get Mothership vibes in general. And as I've said before on this channel, Mothership's like my favorite. You know, I mean, it's like sentimentally, I fucking adore that album just because that's like as I entered into the fucking the fandom, that's when that was coming out, and I fucking adore that album. And seeing where the band is at now, and just like so many of these like cool things in Mothership, like fully grown up, they've gone through like the trials and tribulations to get to this point, that this whole album culminates to fucking this song too. Like, ooh, baby. I listened to the song for the first time and I got fucking mad chills. And can I just say, sitting here listening to you guys gush about it, I almost started fucking crying, dude. It was so emotional just listening to this incredible shit happen and you guys just go nuts. This song is what I love about Dance Gavin Dance in a nutshell. It is like, it's fucking music, baby. It's so delicious and it's so tasty. They just know how to write such incredible shit, man. Fuck. This song is incredible, dude. I adore this song. It does everything right. We talk about masterclass in building, baby. Holy fuck. This song does it. Mm-hmm. It also, like, even though Andrew's a part of the band, it still feels like he's a feature on this song with like his verse near the end. And the way like it goes back and forth with like the kind of percussive Tillian coming in and out, and that fucking guitar chug, man, the no, I just fucking nearly shit myself every time, baby. It's so good. I mean, come on, this is incredible. This song is fucking god tier, god tier Dance Gavin Dance song.
I am glad that you share my sentiment, because I was like, I will die on this hill. Like, I do not care. Anything else, I will, like, sure, if I get outvoted, I'm outvoted. But I was like, if anybody tells me that anything on this fucking album is better than Swallowed by Eternity, I will drive to their home and beat them to death with their own keyboard. Like, I will not have it. This is it. This is the answer. but we have to order these fully. So right now we have there's Ember for the Jeers, Swallowed by Eternity. I think we've already decided that Swallowed by Eternity is over Ember, and then Ember is over for the Jeers. Is that correct?
I'm cool with this. I think that, like, objectively, that's the way I'd go. I think you could say subjectively, maybe, like, as a DGD fan. You know, like that the age-old argument we've used, like the what would you show somebody first from this band?
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd probably show them Ember before Swallow for Eternity.
Yeah, I mean, me
Probably.
too. But like,
but
I
objectively,
definitely
man,
think it's the better song.
no, 100%. I just want to put that out there because, like, 100%, I feel like that's going to be a strong opinion after listening to this whole album and like looking at a ranking of it. But I think that ranking is appropriate for those three.
Okay.
Yeah, you're saying Swallowed number 1, Ember 2 for the Jeers 3.
Yeah.
I am in total agreement.
Okay. And we're not. And does anyone want to move Cream anywhere up the ladder from 4?
No.
Squarely fourth. Squarely fourth.
I am in agreement. I think
no. That's not happening here. No. I
Guys,
love
you know
Cream
what
of the
that
Crop.
means?
No.
That means we're done. That means we ranked the greatest album ever and the longest album we've ever done. It's done. We made it through in like record time. This was not like a 3-hour-long ordeal, and I'm very proud of us. I get to do the recap now, and we get to infuriate the world with our opinions. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 18 is Untitled 2. 17 is Two Secret Weapons. 16, Holy Ghost Spirit. 15, One Man's Cringe. 14, Feels Bad Man. 13, Polka Dot Dobbins. 12, Have a Great Life. 11, Pop Off. 10, Synergy. 9, Current Events. 8, Long Nights in Jail. 7, Pray to God for Your Mother. 6, Back on Deck. 5, Die Another Day. 4, Cream of the Crop. 3, For the Jeers. 2, Ember. And 1, Swallowed by Eternity. Holy fuck, we have done it.
Dude.
Go us.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
We made it through.
Oh, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Can I just say, like, no matter what your feeling is about this album overall, the timing of like how it came out with everything, you know, surrounding it, the fact that I strongly believe that the top 4 songs we talked about today are some of the best songs Dance Gavin Dance has ever released. Those 100%. Top 4 is absurd. 4 on one album, dude? Like, you look back to like Instant Gratification, you could say 2. And I don't know if there's like more than 2 on any album they've ever released where you can be like, these are god tier bangers, you know? There's fucking 4 on this album, dog. That is absurd. What?
At least 4.
At least I could see
arguments
for
for
more
other ones, and I understand. Like,
dude, it's insane.
There's some other ones that are like total sleepers. Like,
yeah, honestly.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do another like top 20 DGD tracks, like
100%.
broken down into 5s.
This shakes up my entire existence. Like the fact that this album is as good as it is. Like things have changed now. We'll probably do that at some point next year. We'll re-rank our top 10 DGD songs. We're gonna redo our ranking of Afterburner at some point because people have been asking for that. We're gonna do the big one at some point.
The big. Future. Oh fuck!
The entire reason that Battle of the Bangers was invented was because after this album dropped, we wanted to do the Dance Gavin Dance album Battle Royale. As the whole reason that show was made. So at some point, probably next year, that's gonna be a thing. And I think this will win.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
Fuck.
I do think that where this album might like objectively fall is in like 1-to-1 comparisons in a bracket style thing. I'm curious to see how it will do like compared to especially like really old DGD stuff, like 1-to-1 comparison wise. That's where I think this will get interesting with that. But it's a front runner. It's absolutely a front runner.
Agreed.
It's definitely the front runner for my album of the year for this year. Nothing is even remotely close to this at this point for me. the bar has just been set so high, in my opinion. I mean,
We have
this
been
is
blessed.
crazy.
We've been blessed.
For sure.
We have been very blessed.
We have been blessed. Oh my god.
So far, this has been a good year for music. Holy shit.
Honestly,
Sure
yeah.
fucking has.
Even just this month, there's been so much shit. And if you want to hear us talk about it, then subscribe to the Talks a Lot Boys and ring the bell, and you'll get notified when the new episode of This Month of Music drops. And we're going to talk about not only this album, but all the other great albums that came out during the month of July, as well as some other things. There's a new segment I want to try out, and that's all I'm going to say. And
Ooh.
just give you a little tease. Subscribe and tune in and find out what that is. Yeah, also make sure to give this video a like if you liked it, because that really does help out a lot. Please comment below, let us know what your ranking of the album is, and just from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you to every single person who has like consistently commented on our stuff and been consistently following us and all of that, because that is just still to this day such a wild and unbelievable thing that strangers on the internet care about our opinions and listen to us. And you know, the Afterburner review was the first video that really like took this channel in this direction and brought us to this point that we're at today. And it's crazy to think about where we were when we did the first Dance Gavin Dance album review to where we are now. And I don't know, I get weepy thinking about it because it's just so cool. So
yeah, I mean, all of you people that have, you know, supported us throughout time, you know, throughout the couple years we've been doing this, all the people who've been commenting, people who like, people who've subscribed, I mean, from all of us, thank you. It's definitely been a trip, you know, going on YouTube and like seeing that we have views, we have comments, we have likes. It's pretty surreal, but yeah, I mean, we love good music. We love you guys also love good music. So your continued support, we just thank you guys for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I think, I mean, you guys said it fucking super well, but it's just the time frame, you know, the way you framed it, Tyler, is like from Afterburner to this point, to think about like where the channel's gone, where DGD has gone as well, like how much we fucking tackled. It's just absurd. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. And to any bands out there that might have seen this, keep making fucking tasty ass music, and we're gonna keep fucking talking about it. You wanna know why, Tyler?
Because we're the Talks a Lot Boys, and we'll talk a whole lot more next time. Ba-boom! See you later.
See ya.
Best segue of the century.